Live from the GPW headquarters, this is GPW Talk Show. And now, with your host, the voice of GPW, Will Rice.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, your commentator, your general manager of Formula One, Will Rice, and we are here with another episode of GPW Talk Show. My guest at this time, former Cruiserweight champion, former United States champion, Jaden Shadow. Thank you for coming in today, sir.
Thank you for having me, you ignorant prick. Now, do you know who I am? You address me as the greatest of all time, or do not address me at all. Now do this again.
He is the greatest of all time, Jaden Shadow. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. It's great to have me. It's a pleasure to meet me.
Folks, this is an impromptu show. Jaden actually requested to have this show with me. Mr. Shadow, what is it that you wanted to talk about?
I'm staking my claim for my world title. I've been sitting here calmly waiting for it, and in that world championship qualifying, whatever the blue balls you wanted to call it, I was never pinned nor submitted. I have never been pinned nor submitted in any world championship scenario. Number one contenders matches included. I was never pinned when I fought K-Dog. I was never pinned when I fought for the number one contenderships. I am sitting here right now, staring you all right in the face and staking my claim for my world title. And I'm also answering the fans' questions since I'm being paid for this. Speaking of paychecks, I never got my paycheck, William.
Well, sir, I had it on my desk after your match. You could have just came down and got it. I'm sure we announced this to you, but you're right. You never came by to grab it, and here it is, right here. I was told
Good
to
and
give it to
damn
you.
well I'm not in your office. I'm sitting inside my hotel room waiting for another paycheck to come in the mail to my house in my residence in Sacramento, California, the greatest city to ever be made, the capital city of California, a better place than you were ever. What was I trying to say? I messed up on my own insult to you. But you know what? It's still better than anything you can come up with, you insult to wrestling.
Well, that's why I'm not a wrestler, sir. I am merely your general manager of Formula One and a commentator for all pay-per-views. So can't be an insult to something that I don't actually do. Anyway, as it comes to getting your paycheck, again, I'm just a general manager of Formula One. I don't handle paychecks. So, again, I have it here at my desk in my office. You are welcome to come get it. If you would like for me to mail it to you, I am more than happy to do that for you. So, which would you prefer?
FedEx it to my apartment on 100 prowrestlingtees.com/Jaden Shadow Pro.
Right. I will get that to you post-haste, sir. Anyway, is that all you wanted to speak on, Mr. Shadow?
No. I was told that since you're an interviewer, that you were going to interview me. That's what the boss lady told me. So, Mr. Boss Boy, for Formula One, the B show, interview me. All right, Monkey Puppet?
Okay. So then, as you said, you lost the number one contenders match, even though you were not pinned and you didn't tap out, you still lost the match. How do you feel about the fact that boss lady, as you put her, Diane Anderson, put someone like JC Wolf into that match who hadn't been here since a few months ago? All he did was attack Eric Hale, and now he was put into the match with yourself, who beat your brother in a match. Uh, Siler Jordan, who also won a match at the last pay per view, and JW Cashman, who at the very least beat Dylan Travis, the former #1 contender. How do you respond to the fact that JC Wolf essentially was just added to that match and, in a sense, stole the victory while you and Siler Jordan were going at it?
All right, voice crack boy. What I'm going to tell you now is the truth. Because it seems like all these part-time boys and people who just come back seem to get opportunities more than the guys who are sitting here week in and week out. I sat here, and this is year 2 of Jaden's GPW. That's what we're calling this. This is no longer the GPW Talk Show. This is the Jaden Shadow Show. What I'm going to tell you now is the truth. What you've seen lately with these new kids coming in and getting opportunities over me, that's not going to fly. I'm going to tell you this now. I'm about to strike. And when I strike, I'm laying everybody out. So, I want Eric, because I know he's listening. I know he's listening in on his little phone in his little locker room because he's about 5'2", 190 pounds. I'm coming for your championship, and I'm laying you out. Now, as for JC Wolf, JC Penny, John Cena Crystal, I don't know what his name is. I don't care what his name is. Jimmy Boy, if I see you in the streets, I am giving you the heat. And what that means is I'm punching all your teeth out. Ask another question. All right, cheap prick?
Okay, so let's talk about something a little bit more close to the chest. Your significant other, Kendall Rose. There have been many people who feel that she has become nothing more than a lapdog to Diane Anderson, both Kendall and Anarchy as a whole. But Diane and Kendall have both adamantly said it's more of a partnership than anything else. Do you feel as that is the case, or do you feel that someone is manipulating someone else in this situation?
See, the way I see it is Diane held my check. Diane's an idiot. Kendall is a very smart person. She's not going to get manipulated by a person who's, for lack of a better term, the dumbest person on the planet. Now, what that means is I'm seeing this for what it is. It's a bit of a partnership. It's a fair partnership. It's a fair trade-off. We got rid of the fat for the show. Thank God. And what I get out of this is absolutely nothing because, let's face it, my significant other and what she does with her group doesn't concern me because I have no ties to that group. In fact, I fought that group for months and months and months. And I have no ties to that boss lady who happens to sign my checks even though I haven't gotten one in the past, 3 months. Next.
Well, as someone, as you said, you have no ties to Anarchy, let's talk about a group that you at least recently had ties to, Reckless Intent. It holds your daughter, Iva. She recently has had a run-in with the boss lady, but also there's just so recently had the small infighting between Christian Tracy and Franco Ricci. Now, as much as you have very publicly stated that uh, you left Reckless Intent, I would assume you still keep tabs on it since your daughter is in it. How do you feel Franco has handled the situation with Christian Tracy, and would you have handled it any differently?
All right. First things first, her name is Eva. Eva.
Well, maybe you should put an E in front of it instead of an I. So,
her mom named her, not me. Anyway,
right.
Now back to this topic. If it was me in leadership, I would have super kicked the living crap out of Tracy. Actually, scratch that. When I was still in leadership, I should have led with the Iron Fist because I was about to kick the fat out. That being Mr. Franco Ricci, who is now your new leader of Reckless. If anybody would have opposed me, they are getting kicked out. Anarchy employed that strategy. TF1 enforced that strategy. Or no, it's TFN. Screw you, Omari. You still have a little dick. And the only reason why I know that is because the ex-girlfriend hit me up telling me that. The rest of these situations with Anarchy and Reckless and all these groups are all easily avoidable by doing what I did. I kicked out the fat when I needed to, and then when I felt like I could not give a crap anymore, and I felt like there was nothing left for me involved with the group, I left. I left when they invited Maximus into the group, which, by the way, Max is the definition of what is not reckless. Christian Tracy is what is not reckless. What you've been doing, Mr. Ricci, Franklin Richardson, you've been inviting people into the group that, quite frankly, are just extra fat. Now, what I've done in my career is I've reinvented myself and I've done every single thing that there is to do with groups. I know about creating super groups, and what you need to do is listen to me closely as I say this for the 5th time in a row. Cut out the fat. Anything else?
Well, when speaking on Mr. Maximus, as someone who has dealt with situations in the cruiserweight division, as much as you were very adamant about not liking it, feeling that a lot of them were not worthy of your time as their champion, how do you think Max should be handling the situation with Brandon Ace, our newly crowned cruiserweight champion? Do you agree with how Max handled it this past week, where he was able to trap Brandon inside of a steel cage and attack him inside it?
Hey, do whatever you want. You're still too small to fight me. Next.
Well then, sir, when speaking on your bid for the world title, there are still many others who probably have a say in it as well. How do you feel about people like Siler Jordan, like JW Cashman, and, for example, Duke Zenda, who is in an apparent heated discussion, which will probably turn violent soon, between himself and Dylan Travis?
All right. Let's go down that list. You mentioned Sailor Jordan. Sailor's the reason why I'm not inside that championship match, because I was too busy getting kneed in the face. And he was too stupid to jump and axe handle him for the win to be stopped. he was too stupid. Hence, he is not worthy of being champ. I am, however. I got caught when I was looking at the man going for the pin. I was about to break it up when I got blindsided with the kick to the knee and a knee to the face. Now, as for John Williams Cashman, John Wick Cashman, he lost the match on his own. He was the one who got pinned, if I remember correctly. Therefore, he should not be in the conversation anymore by process of elimination, which should have been the way that this match should have been booked, an elimination match. Now, as for Duke, who, by the way, will get laid out in 2 minutes if I fought him, and his boyfriend Dylan, they sound like a pop group. Duke and Dylan. Maybe they should make a song together instead of fighting. They can take a lot less TV time, and maybe they'll be the next 2 count, because they surely won't ever find a third. They can just go and buzz off, because I am your rightful champion. I am the rightful number 1 contender. I am the best in the world. I am the best to ever step in a ring. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm still here because you guys can't do your jobs. It's been a decade of dominance for me. I've made a career out of taking shots. And now I'm ready to take another. I'm ready.
Well, you definitely sound ready to take that next step. Speaking of taking next steps, this will be my final question. Who do you think deserves to fight Mason Foster for the championship? I know we will have our number 1 contenders match coming up for that opportunity between Lance Romance, Michael Carter, and Mason Steele. Mason Steele being the only person who has had any kind of championship gold in between these 3 men, as being a former Intercontinental Champion. Who do you see winning this match?
You know, this is always one of those where I don't give 2/3 of a crap about a single one of them except for my Revolution brother, Lance Romance. And if you guys don't know what Revolution is, it's myself, Lance, and Austin. You won't see that in GPW because we're all separated by shows. You will never see that in GPW because I want my world title. And I'm going to go with Lance, but don't be surprised if you see another ultimate opportunity being taken. Just keep your eyes open. Any more questions?
No, that is all I have for you, Mr. Shadow. Is there anything else you want to end with before we end the show?
All right, because I'm known for this, I'm going to close out your show today. All right? So, Trailer Park
By all
Tracks,
means.
sit down. I said sit down. All right. Listen closely, children. I'm about to tell you a story. This is a story of a man who just doesn't care. I am here for one thing and one thing only, and that's my world title. I'm going to reiterate what I said at the beginning of this program. I want my world title, and by any means, I am going to get my world title. It doesn't matter if it's Mason. Doesn't matter if it's Eric. I am going to win my world championship, and you will all see that I'm going to do anything for my gold. And so with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with a little plug, because that's what I'm known for. Follow me on Twitter at HeelJaden. And don't forget that it's my show. It's the Jaden Shadow Show. Don't get lost in the shadows. Shad out.